3 o'clock on the morning of the 16th of April, 1945, 16,000 Russian rocket launchers, guns and mortars opened fire on the German defences east of Berlin. The Red Air Force added weight to the barrage. Stalin had issued his directive for the city's capture at the end of March. Rokossovsky's second Belarusian front was to strike north of Berlin and tie down the German forces there. Konyev's first Ukrainian front was to destroy the German forces south of Berlin. His armies were also to seize Dresden and Leipzig. The capture of Berlin itself was given to Zhukov's first Belarusian front, which would open the attack. During the first few days, both Zhukov and Rokossovsky experienced difficulties in breaking through a still resolute German defense. But Konyev's forces reached the southern outskirts of Berlin on the 18th of April, and Stalin agreed that he could carry on into the center of the city. Zhukov, too, now began to break into the city from the east. For the Berliners themselves, the nightmare became ever more real as their city crumbled round them. But Hitler, seen here on his birthday, the 20th of April, decorating Hitler Youth members, the last time he would appear in public, had vowed to stay in his capital. As the fighting moved closer to the city center, Hitler allowed members of his government to leave. These included Goering, Himmler, and Grand Admiral Dönitz, who set up a headquarters near the Danish border. Berlin's defenders fought street by street. Now began the final battle for Berlin, as the Russians fought ever closer to the city's heart. Hitler pinned his last remaining hopes on a relief attempt from west of Berlin, but this soon failed. Yet the defenders of the capital continued to fight on amid the growing piles of rubble. On the 29th of April, the Russians reached the center of Berlin, winkling out German troops from the cellars and sewers. Civilians in the parts that had been overrun came out onto the streets, aware that they had new masters. But still, the fighting in the center continued. The Reichstag, Germany's parliament building, and the Chancellery, under which Hitler lurked in his bunker, now came under direct Russian fire. The Russians now stormed the Reichstag, but 5,000 German defenders made them fight hard for it. Not until the 1st of May were the Russians able to hoist the red flag over the Reichstag. It took place at night, and this is a reenactment carried out the next morning. Next day, General Kurt Weidling, Berlin's last commander, surrendered. Berlin had finally fallen.